Hey guys, welcome. So me and Charles have just been sitting here for 20 minutes while Charles tries to work out his tech issues, but we're here now and let's talk about some e-com. How about that,
Oh,
Charles?
yeah, yeah, that'll be good, mate. That'll be good.
Been through 20 different camera changes and 400
Yeah,
microphone swaps. So yeah, here we are. So
yeah,
um yeah, it's
it,
good to be back for some e-commerce marketing community chats finally.
yeah. The high setup clearly didn't want to work tonight, so I'm on my normal FaceTime camera. The microphone might cut out at some point, but we're here.
Oh,
So
don't worry, I'll let you know that other microphone's horrible. So the audience will tune out if you stay on that mic. So yeah,
yeah.
we'll definitely be swapping that back. But yeah,
Oh dear.
feedback from last week's chat. So we had varying degrees of kind of stages where people were at. Like we had some good feedback and some we had some good feedback all round. But for the super beginner level, like the people literally just starting out, like even using so it's something that we need to be aware of too if we are creating any type of content for absolute beginners. Like even words like SEO, which does mean search engine optimization, basically optimizing your site to show up in search engines, whether that be Google, Bing, any other major DuckDuckGo, is it another search engine? Any of those search engines, it's
Yeah.
basically optimizing your site to show up in those. So where we can, we'll try to not use the lingo as much as we can, but sometimes it is going to slip. It's just second nature. So if we are talking about something that you're not sure about or that you want to know more info on, just ask us the questions in the group and we'll elaborate. And I'll apologize personally for using lingo that's not I guess well known, but yeah, we'll try keep it at a certain level. Um, Obviously at the more kind of advanced talks and stages, we will be using more marketing lingo, but I'll still explain it and go into as much depth as we can on these calls. But yeah, first calls were good. I managed just over the last week to actually purchase some products from some websites that are in our community. I posted those up today. All actually really good quality products. So I've tested them all. My 3-year-old son loves the 3D printed toys. The candle smells amazing that we got, so my wife loves that one. And yeah, I got some new loungewear trackies, which are super comfy too. So all round amazing products. But just on those as well, Charles, I think all three of those sites that I bought from definitely need some work in terms
Mm.
of especially their homepage. Their homepage, all of their homepages need some work. And the website, I will say this, even the most advanced websites, a website is not one and done, and then you leave it. It's something that you're always optimizing, you're always testing, you're always trying to make it better. So don't be disheartened if your website isn't where it needs to be at the moment. It is something that you'll need to, keep investing in and keep refining to basically make it convert as well as possible. But yeah, I'm planning to kind of put together a basic template of what should be on your homepage with graphic examples. Tomorrow I'm posting on in the group just a little breakdown of what the above the fold section looks like for kogan.com.au, which is one of the biggest retailers in Australia. Just so you can see how many elements are actually above the fold and how much you can do before you've even scrolled down on a website, which is the ideal situation. You want the person that lands on your homepage to be able to find what they need to find and find it quickly. So you want someone to be able to get to the product that they want in the least amount of clicks possible. So if you can put your best sellers on the homepage and that's the one that primarily sells, if it's on the homepage, it's one click to that product rather than sorting through a product section, trying to find, potentially what they want. So keep all those things in mind when you're actually going through your website build and use the tools like ChatGPT to give you ideas of what to put in the copy and text on the homepage to make it more professional and help search engines basically find you for the actual products that you're offering.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I think the homepage is key. It's still the page that drives the most traffic to most brands, e-commerce stores. So it's critical to make sure that you're continually kind of evolving your design and kind of evaluating how customers interact with your homepage.
Absolutely, and I think, well, obviously the homepage gets the most traffic because if someone is searching in your brand name, which you will rank super highly for, generally speaking, if someone types in your brand name, the page that they land on is that homepage when they're searching for your brand name. But one of the other pages that we will be chatting about today is the category pages. And how important they are, and if you can get it right, like how much additional traffic it can actually drive to your website by having a well labeled category page and putting products that are irrelevant for that particular category. And this falls into a couple of categories. It falls into one, product selection for those categories, but also SEO too, search engine optimization, which Charles will be able to shed some more light on us for us soon, and I'll be able to provide some examples from my own clients without kind of giving away the category page. And in full transparency, like the clients we work with, I don't like to give away their secret sauce, because if it's replicated by people in the same industry listening to this, then it kind of takes that competitive advantage away from them. So we'll give examples where we can freely, and it's why I like finding examples from other businesses that aren't my clients, because I can talk about it freely with as much insight as I'm happy to give of what they're doing well and potentially what they're not. But yeah, for the clients that work specifically with us, like I'll never be sharing kind of their insider data or their secret sauce for what's actually making them tick, because it can be, and it is often duplicated by people listening to these resources as well.
Yeah, no, I think we've got kind of confidentiality kind of agreements in place really with our clients. It's kind of a unwritten rule that we don't really. There's only a certain amount that we can potentially share. So yeah, that's I'm on the same page as Jimmy here.
If we're telling everyone what we're ranking for and what we're ranking well, and then 10 other people duplicate it, it makes it harder for us to stay in that space and do well for our own clients. But where do you want to start today, Charles? I know you wanted to talk about apps today as well, so we can jump into that too. But yeah, I would like to get onto the category pages at some point as well.
Yeah, I mean we can talk about kind of let's delve in, I guess, to start with some Shopify apps. I guess on the SEO side, I like to keep it quite there's not many that I actually use. I'm delving into some more at the moment. I was just actually before our call looking at smart SEO. So there's some good things that you can do there in terms of optimizing what they call the SEO meta titles and descriptions. There's also a function in there.
What level do they do that at, Charles? Like, what's your thoughts on kind of the native Shopify product meta titles and stuff? Are they good enough, or do you need an app, or is this app that you're talking about, is this for meta titles on category pages or something different? Like, what's it helping you with?
Yeah, so we typically are using the search engine listings. So when you click on a product or a collection page, so collection, so we're on the same page as well, Dewey. Collection and categories, we're referring to the same thing here, aren't we?
Yeah, interchangeable for me. There might be a slight difference somewhere, but yeah, I use them interchangeably.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously with collections, for those listening, and collections, when you go on to Shopify, you've usually got collections and products. So when you're clicking on any individual product or collection page, when you scroll down right to the bottom of those individual pages, you'll see this search engine listing section. So we natively go in and then change the SEO meta title and then the meta description, and we've been doing that individually for all of the pages that we optimize for. But I'm kind of exploring at the moment, is there a way that we can speed up that process? Because certainly with stores that have got a lot of pages, it's quite a manual process and can take time.
I've seen the bulk edit option in products now. I think I sent you a video on that last week, which
Yeah.
has actually been helpful to edit things more than one at a time, so you can update the descriptions and titles for the products in there. One tip though, don't do like 100 at once and then try to hit save, because sometimes it is buggy. So probably do 20 at a time, hit save, save yourself doing 100, and you go to save, and it reverts everything back to how it was at the start. So yeah, if you
Yeah.
are using kind of that bulk product editor in Shopify, just make sure you're saving regularly.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. But the other thing I noticed in Smart SEO that they've got is they allow you to basically see in real time when someone lands on like a broken link, a 404 page, and it will show that link up in
Okay.
within the window, so you can go through and see which pages potentially are, have got broken links. And then in this situation, you need to set up what we call 301 redirect
Is
to
it
a
showing when you talk about broken links there, Charles, say you're like linking off to other pages or internally, is it showing those links, or is it showing when someone goes to a page on your website and it's a 404, which for people that don't know what a 404 is, it's basically when you type in a website address on a website and the website can't actually find it. So it basically spits you out a page that, hey, this web page doesn't exist. Is that what it's picking up, the app, or
yeah,
is it helping you find links internally that are broken too?
it's mainly showing links that are just broken. So the page has either been, the URL has been changed, or it's been deleted. I mean, often I'm seeing this with one of my clients in particular that have got a lot of products and they're constantly changing it,
Yeah, it
changing these
happens a
products
lot.
or deleting pages, or changing URLs because they have and this, I guess this is probably, this conversation goes off on a tangent here, but like if you do have a team of people that are kind of managing and uploading products, it's good to have them in alignment with your SEO specialist, if you have, if you're hiring an agency or a freelancer, because they're not necessarily aware that if they make any changes to the URLs, then your links are going to be broken.
On that as well, so important thing that you mentioned there, like people do delete products. What they don't realize is that product might have been on the website for a long period of time and potentially ranking quite well in Google.
Yeah.
Um, what's the process for if a client deletes a product, that page is no longer visible? Like, what are you redirecting to if that product's no longer there? Are you redirecting to a similar product or the category page, and how do you do that? Are you doing it individually, at an individual link level, or is there something that you can set up that automatically, if the product disappears, it redirects to a category level? Like, how does it work? Because
Yeah.
I'm interested because I have some clients that have 45,000 product SKUs, so it can be it's an issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm curious to know how you guys are actually handling it from an SEO perspective.
Yeah. So ideally, I like to redirect to like a relevant new page. So if it's a collection that's been deleted, then we want to be redirecting it to a new relevant collection that's somewhat similar. We don't want to be redirecting everything to the homepage,
Hmm.
because that's going to potentially have an impact on basically how quick the homepage loads. It kind of puts what I would say pressure on the homepage because you've got all of these 301 redirects pointing to the homepage. So we don't want to be doing that. Ideally, we want to be linking to a new relevant page that's somewhat associated. So if it's if the collection is, tennis rackets, and you've deleted the old tennis racket page, then you want to be pointing to the new page.
Do you think it's even worth deleting products at all? Like, is it worth just having them out of stock and then having, if it's out of stock, similar products listed under that product on the product page? Or are you for, if they're never getting this back in stock and regardless of whether it's driving traffic, like for a user experience, it's worth getting it off the website?
I think I'll look at a couple of things. I'll find out whether the product is actually going to come back in stock, because what's the point if it's not going to come back in? We may as well delete that page. And two, I'll be looking at how well that product page is currently ranking. If it's got very little traffic, it's not ranking for anything at all, then I don't really see the value in keeping that page.
What if it's the other way around? If it was a super valuable product, but that it's just end of life for that product. They're not coming back in again, but it was driving like a significant amount of traffic. Like, is there creative things you could do, like keep that page but mention that it's out of stock and it's not coming back in, but these are viable alternatives? Or is it just straight delete it and redirect it to another product or category page?
Yeah, I would probably be...
Or is it something worth testing?
I think it is. I think it's definitely something worth testing. I don't think there's one, it's not a black or white kind of scenario here. There's some different options that you can choose. I would probably, in this scenario, I would be looking at, if there wasn't a relevant product page that you could redirect to, I would be redirecting back to the relevant collection page that it's associated to. That would be my first thought process. Let's find the associated collection page that's probably already getting a decent amount of traffic as well, and point it back to the collection page.
My only other thought would be, if they're looking for that specific product and they land on a product page or a collection page and it's either not there or it obviously redirected to a similar product but not the same product, it may be worth educating them on a product landing page that, hey, this product isn't available and it's never coming back in and won't be available in the future, but these are our best alternatives to this particular product.
Yeah, I like that idea. I think that could definitely work.
It depends, and it comes back to what you said as well, like how much traffic it's getting. Like, if no one's searching this product, you're never going to do that. But if a lot of people are searching it and everyone's deleting that product, it may give you a slight competitive advantage by keeping it there and providing, like letting people know, hey, this isn't available anymore and this is why, and these are our most viable product alternatives to that product.
Yeah, for sure. Was there any that you had, Jim?
Especially in, like, because we both have like clients in the car part space. So especially in the car part space, if that product isn't available, but you can give them a viable product that would be like a suitable replacement for that product. Especially if it's a super popular one.
There usually is. It may not be the there'll be different variations. Typically with, certainly automobile kind of parts and accessories, they've usually got a lot of different products in stock that are somewhat similar. So if one is not available, then that's why I would suggest maybe put it back to a collection, because it allows the customer then to have more than one choice in terms of an alternative.
Yeah, gotcha. That makes sense. The app that you just mentioned, was it SEO Checker?
Smart SEO. Smart
SEO. Yeah. So one, is it paid or free? And two, what's it doing that you can't natively do on the Shopify platform?
Well, to be honest with you, Jim, I've only just started to
Started
delve into it.
testing. Yeah.
Yeah, just today. So I will.
That's a good thing about this call as well. Like you're hearing this information raw from us, like what we're testing and what we're doing right now. It's and we will definitely give you tried and tested things from us as well. But we're also going to dive into, hey, this is what we're actually testing right now. Because I'm
Oh, for
actually
sure.
testing an app right now too, which I don't like talking about things that I haven't like fully tested and proven. But yeah, I'll talk about the app that I'm testing in a minute, just for blog content as well.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that we've been talking about quite a lot recently is, and I need to really delve into it more, is there's so many AI tools out there, not necessarily Shopify apps, but various AI tools that can be used to and leverage to help your SEO campaign, whether it's to delve into different content ideas, create content. But what I'm very, I don't want to provide any recommendations until I've really delved in, because there's the worry for me that people start using these AI tools, and Google have changed their algorithm a lot, and a lot of sites have been hit hard because they've really just spammed their website with a lot of AI content, not realizing that it's really about quality rather than quantity. So there'll certainly be
Oh,
some
like
things that I'll be able to
yeah,
provide, but I want to delve in first, and so we can give the audience the best, most up
yeah,
to date
definitely.
information.
I think so everyone talks about ChatGPT just for AI platforms to test copy. I'm actually using one called Perplexity AI, which is great because it gives the resources and sources that it's using in its answers, so you can almost verify them yourself. But yeah, that's been good for content creation ideas. Like if you want to write a blog on something, or you've got an article that you want to write and you need ideas for titles and things of that regard, then yeah, it's great for that idea generation. I definitely wouldn't be just cutting and pasting everything that it spits out onto your website though.
No, I mean, I think probably about, I would say now about 12 months ago, I started using one called Content at Scale. And
Hmm.
their whole philosophy was, yes, we create AI content for your blog, but they advise you use a writing editor, a human to actually
Yeah.
go in and make some editing changes. The problem I was finding still, and speaking to my writers as well as we were creating this content and testing it out, was it still wasn't quite up to scratch. Now, I don't know whether they've improved things from 12 months ago. I'm sure they have, given how far AI has, evolved, and how it's constantly improving. I need to go in and retest that at some stage, but I
Yeah,
would suggest that's a
I
good
was about to
strategy.
I was about to ask, like, what's your kind of philosophy on blog content? It being like really good when you get it out, or can because this is the problem. Like, people need feel like they need to make their blog post perfect, and then 8 weeks later they're still refining it. Like, are you more of? I'm definitely on the side of do as good as you can and get it out, rather than hey, this needs to be perfect, because it's never perfect. You can reread every article that you've written and think, oh, I could have changed that, or I could have added this. Like, it's never going to be perfect. So like, what site, and knowing that you've had clients where there's a lot of red tape, and like, would it be better for you, hey, even if these aren't perfect, let's get them on and get you like ranking for some keywords to see if this is even worth continuing to pursue, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the faster you can publish blogs on your website, the quicker you can get feedback. You can see what you're actually ranking for, and then you can make improvements and upgrade over time. What I'm not suggesting is you go out and you just, you produce a
Yeah,
load of rubbish.
I'm
Yeah.
saying spend some time on it, but
Yeah.
don't spend so much time on it that you think it has to be, a gospel piece. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to be good.
Oh, for
Um,
sure. And we've spoken about this before, and I've had certain clients in the past where because of corporate red tape, we've created, literally 20 to 30 good quality blogs that I've got the right optimization, the right keywords in, that I know for sure are going to rank well on Google, because we're putting them on a site that's got a strong domain, but they're sat there waiting for approval.
That's the problem.
For 6 months, 12 months sometimes.
It's
And that means that they're not going to rank.
opportunity cost. Yeah, it's opportunity
Absolutely.
cost too. You could have hundreds of thousands of dollars on a good blog article that's going to convert to sales on your products, just sitting there like doing nothing. So yeah, it's definitely a case of good is better than perfect, and get it out and adjust as you see the data coming through. And when we say look at the data that's coming through, me personally, I'm looking specifically at Google Analytics and Google Search Console. So they're the two platforms, both free, so both provided by Google. Anyone that's listening to this, if you don't have Google Analytics on your site, stop this podcast right now and go put it on right now. I don't even talk about it because I just think it's such a given that it should be on there. So if you don't have Google Analytics on your website, pause this podcast and come back to it and go, well, not even podcast, just a chat. Pause this chat, go put Google Analytics on your website, and use it to help you guide decisions in the future.
Yeah. And when you finish with this, after you've installed Google Analytics, install Google Search Console as well, because that's a must. For me, it's
a bit of a hidden gem, because you're right. It's so underutilized. So majority of my clients, none of them have it set up. You'd be lucky. I'd be lucky if 1 in 20 accounts that I looked at had a Google Search Console even set up.
Yeah, no, it's I have the same thing when I'm asking, new clients that come on board, or just, potential clients in general. Do you have Google Analytics? Do you have Google Search Console? Typically they have Google Analytics, but Search Console, it's like, what's that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
it's very valuable, and you can get some really insightful data, especially if you're planning on running an SEO campaign and improving your organic search.
And if you're looking for blog content inspiration, that's the perfect place to start.
Yeah.
If your website's been around for a little while, it's going to be a gold mine. If you're just starting out, not so much. I wouldn't use.
No.
You're basically if you're just starting out, your site's only a couple of weeks old, a couple months old, it's likely that you're only going to have kind of brand terminologies in there.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah, in that case, I would probably, if you have the budget for it. I'm a big fan of SEMrush, just in terms of an all-in-one SEO tool. And you can do your keyword research on there. You can get ideas in terms of content on there. You can look at backlink opportunities for your website. Look into your competitors.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Basically, if you've got a competitor that's doing really well, you can architect and break down their whole strategy on a tool like SEMrush and see what they're doing and how they're getting their traffic, and reverse engineer it for your own business. And it's what happens constantly. If someone's doing really well, everyone else is going to reverse engineer them so they can get a cut of the pie. Happens constantly.
Yeah. Jimmy, any Shopify apps that you like using in particular? What's your go-tos?
So definitely. So being on the Google Ads side of things, the number one app that I recommend clients use is called SimProcess. It is a paid app, but it's I think it's around $5 US a month or something. So it's not super expensive, but it allows you to set up all your tracking really well. It's got GA4 integration, and it's really fantastic at managing the products in your feed on Shopify. So that's what I'm using it for, to manage products in a shopping feed. Shopping feeds is a really kind of advanced topic, so we won't cover it now, but it's definitely something that I want to cover later, because people will get a ton of value on the product feed. Some of it we've spoken about, like optimizing product titles, does feed a little bit into product feed optimization. Like, it's one of the important aspects of it. So last week we did speak about ways to optimize your product titles, but yeah, the number one app that I look for or try to get a client to put on their site is SimProcess. The other one, the free one, if you don't want a paid app, is you just need the Google and YouTube sales channel. That allows you to easily connect your Google Analytics 4 account to your Shopify store. It also allows you to connect your Google Merchant Center to your Shopify store very easily. And the Google Merchant Center, even if you're not running ads, like we've previously discussed, you can send your products to Google Merchant Center and have them show up in the Google Shopping tab for free. So I would, if you don't have an app to send things to Google Merchant Center, they're the two I use: SimProcess paid version, Google and YouTube's, I think it's called Sales Channel for the free version. They're the two that I'm using the most. The other app that I'm testing at the moment is for blog creation. So basically, I don't want to write boring blogs for this client, so it is a blog with products inserted into the blog whenever we're talking about that, like product tiles, product images, prices, things like that. It just helps the actual template of the blog, and yeah, it just makes it look a lot cleaner. But the app I'm testing for that at the moment is called Bloggle. So yeah, just blog, GLE at the end. And that's what I'm testing at the moment. It is a paid app, but it does give you a 14-day free trial. And I think, like, it's not a cheap app for a blogging app. I think it's between 25 and 50 US dollars a month. So you'd want to be blogging quite regularly if you are going to get that. But if you're looking for just one blog that you want to make pop, it's driving a lot of traffic, you want to put some products on there, use the 14-day trial, and then you can take the app off. And from the FAQs that I read today, it doesn't affect the blog post itself if you do remove the app. So that's a promising thing too. So yeah, that's another app that I'm using at the moment. I mean, there's the standard apps too, like Gorgeous for like chats. A lot of my clients use that, and I think it's called Judge Me for reviews too.
Yeah.
So like if you're looking for just the most used apps, you can go to the Shopify app marketplace and just sort it by popularity, or I think there might be an option to sort by downloads, and then just have a look at the top ones that are being used. So if they're being used by a lot of people, generally they're pretty decent plugins or apps.
Yeah, no, for sure. One actually with regards to reviews that a couple of my clients use is review.io or reviews.io.
Yeah,
which is
there's a
quite
couple
popular.
of them, definitely.
Yeah. And the other one that it's worth mentioning, because I've seen it firsthand now, is gem pages and just building out custom landing pages. One of my clients, that they're a web developer and designer, is building out some really nice customized pages, and there is frameworks that you can use within that to help you build that landing page out.
Would that be suitable for like kind of a blog style page? So
Yes.
this is what I've been weighing up to. And does the gem pages allow you to put like product titles on the page?
That's what he's building out now. Are you talking about those kind of advertorial potential landing
and
pages?
like actually having like the Shopify product tile in the, or card, some people call it the product card, in the actual blog post itself. Because if it does, I'll probably test it as well. I want to test a couple and then basically report back which one I'm using and why.
Yeah. No, I believe so. Based on the conversations that we've been having, our plan is to use that. So, I'm getting some insights from him in terms of, obviously, he's more skilled and knowledgeable about kind of what apps to use from a design and development point of view. So
Yeah, it makes sense.
we're kind of
It,
working in synergy to create some really well optimized landing pages.
yeah, but other than that, in terms of apps, there's nothing that really sticks. I'm sure. Oh, the only other apps that pretty much every single one of my clients is using is like the Klaviyo integration. So Klaviyo is the software you use for your email marketing. So if you're not using that, if you're using Mailchimp, I would jump to Klaviyo. It's going to make you more money, and it just integrates better into Shopify. I've used both, and by far, Klaviyo is the easier and, in my experience, the more profitable software to actually use for your email marketing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it can be easy to use too many apps, and after a while you find out you're not actually using all of these apps.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to have a smaller amount that you actually use on a
I think
daily or
that's
weekly
a good
basis.
point as well. Like you should be reviewing your app use at least every 2 months, and clearing out the ones that, because I know exactly what you mean, and I've been on some client accounts that would have like 50 plus apps. I'm just thinking to myself, are you actually using all these or
Yeah.
no? It's
Yeah.
they all add up too if they're paid apps. So I would recommend doing an audit of your apps every 2 months, and
That's a
deciding,
good
hey,
idea.
do we need this? Don't we need it? And just keeping your site as clean as possible.
No, I think that's a great idea. Really, because I don't think enough stores do that. To be honest with
No.
you, having a look into some of my
To be honest
Shopify
with you,
client accounts.
if you ask the business owner what these apps are, a lot of them have no idea. So,
Yeah, yeah,
and they will be paying for them. It's if they've had a lot of different people working on the account at various points, or different agencies, they all like to use their own apps, and then before you know it, you're paying for three different apps that do very similar things, and yeah, you only need one of them.
yeah.
So yeah, it would be important to have someone on your team just to review those every 2 months. It's not just to save on the subscription cost. It's also, the less apps you have on your site, the faster it's going to be. So yeah,
Yep.
if you don't have to weigh down your site with all these additional apps, then don't, take them off.
Ah, it's a good point. It's a good point. Good stuff. Where do you want to go to next, Jim?
Category pages. So I want to talk
Okay.
about category pages, and it kind of leads in well talking about blog posts and SEO optimized pages. So what people don't realize, and that the reason I'm excited about category post is, basically, I had a experience with a client a couple months ago where there was an influencer that was in their niche that was talking about all these products that they sold on their website. So what we did is we created a collections page that said influencers name recommendations. And then any products that they'd talked about, we put that in the collection page. And within the space of a month and a half, that was the second highest traffic page behind the homepage. So straight away for me, it's like, okay, wow, there's a lot of opportunity here to get the category pages right and find trending products and put products in there that are relevant. So, for example, like those 3D printed items that I used the other day, like examples of category pages could be like neurodivergent toys for kids. And that's a great category page. And then you put all the toys in there that were, fun animals, and were great for, sensory experiences, or super colorful. And So that you could create a category page around that, and then that's a category that sits on your page, and then that's a category that sits on your homepage. When people land there, they're like, oh wow, they sell toys for this. And you can you might have, in that 3D printing space as well, you might have a really well-known designer. So a lot of these 3D printing companies actually license the, like, 3D models from the people that created them. So people may be very well searching for companies that actually sell these designs that are made by specific designers, especially if they're super well known. I'm not sure if they are or not. I haven't actually researched it. But if there is a really well known designer, you could create a category page around the designs that you sell from that particular designer, basically. And that way it gives you a category page where you can talk about that designer in the little usually 150 characters or less, like, blurb above the products on the category page. Not all themes will have that, but if you don't have it, I would recommend it. And yeah, it's from what I'm seeing, it's been a really good way to drive traffic. Obviously, this is it can be an in-depth topic, whereas we're talking about it at a surface level and what's working, and I hope it's inspiring ideas for people. But there's a process for researching these, whether there's search volume there, whether it's warranted to do it, like how much social traffic will this potentially bring. Sometimes, especially on trends, you're not going to have the data to make the decision. You're going to have to go with your gut.
Yeah.
And I went with my gut on this particular one, and yeah, it paid off. Like, there's a lot of traffic coming for these particular products that this influencer has kind of recommended. So take that, and I'm trying to think about some other, like, the candle makers. If there's a particular candle maker that makes certain types of candles, or category pages around, fruit candles. So that would be its own category page. Or um, I know when I bought the candle that I bought last week, it was like dessert candles, which was cool. Like, I'm like, oh, I want something that smells like dessert. So, I bought that. So yeah, it's something to consider when you're thinking about category pages. But yeah, I've become a big advocate of getting your category pages right over the last couple of months, because I've seen the impact it can have on even small stores. So don't think this is a strategy just for large stores. It can definitely be done at the lower, like the starting level stores, and it can do well.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Um, what's your thoughts, Jimmy, on including filters on your category pages? So,
Uh,
yeah,
it's it's almost a must, depending on
okay,
how many products you have. And I typically work with clients with a lot of products, so the filter option, I like to. This is personal preference, but I like to see a strong filter column on the left-hand side of the website when I land
yeah,
on the category pages. So yeah, I'm a big advocate for the filters as well. And it comes back to what we said earlier, about getting your client, or sorry, getting a purchaser to the product that they're looking for as quickly as possible. And if you have a lot of products and they're able to put certain filters in to self-select exactly what they're after, it just helps streamline that process to the sale.
yeah, absolutely. Improves that customer experience, doesn't it? And gets
Mm.
people to, like I said, get the closer you can get them to the checkout page, the better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I find it frustrating on some websites with a lot of products that sometimes it can actually be quite hard to find what I'm looking for. And, in the back of my head, I'm always thinking, these people could be making so much more money if this was just easier. If I didn't know that I definitely wanted this product, I would have already left.
yeah, yeah. No, it's a good point. It's a good point. I think it's getting that balance as well. Sometimes, sometimes I'll see, certainly with the larger stores, they cram so many products onto
Yeah.
just one collection when they can maybe segment them into more subcategories, so that it's easier for the customer to actually delve in and filter down. Um, and there's some
Definitely. I think
complications there.
even if they want to show all the products on that main category, I think just for traffic purposes, it's worth having those subcategories anyway for organic search.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, like I mentioned before, I'm a big advocate of category pages. So the more that you can put in there that are relevant, not saying flood your website with them, but some of them don't actually even have to be in a navigation menu or something like that. People think, oh, I need all these category pages, and where do I put them on the homepage? Sometimes you don't need them on the homepage. They're just there to attract traffic from people searching for it on Google. So, but obviously, if you find one that's getting a lot of traffic, then you'd want to find a way to work it into the navigation, whether it's trending categories or trending products, and then you put those categories in there that are driving a lot of traffic. So there's ways that you can do it. But if you've got 500 categories, you don't need to find a way to put them all on the homepage.
No, yeah. It's just going to overclutter things, and people are going to click straight back off
Yeah,
your site.
those mega menus will be running down 4 pages before they can even get to the bottom.
Yeah, not the best, customer experience for sure. Cool. I'm just thinking in terms of other elements for category pages. I mean, I think it's important to have a description at the top, a collection description, category description. So you're actually talking about what it is that's on that particular collection page. I think I
Yeah,
mentioned
it's
in our
true.
last conversation about internal linking
Yeah, you did
from
actually.
that collection description.
Started
Um,
testing that a bit already. So no, that was a good little nugget. I would say just this, Charles. So the example that I gave you before about the collection page that drove a lot of traffic, it didn't have a blurb. This client's template didn't allow it. So if your template that you have for your site doesn't allow it, don't be disheartened. Still do it. Still create that category page. Ideally, down the track, you will either upgrade the theme or get a developer that can add that section in for you to be able to put a blurb just above the products. But don't be disheartened if you can't. So that example that I shared just before that did drive a fair bit of traffic, it didn't even have like a little description at the top. So it's not a be all or end all. It's this would help again on top of this. But yeah, don't let it stop you from doing it if you can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, your page doesn't have to be perfectly optimized. There are so many different elements to make a supposedly perfectly SEO optimized page.
Yeah, we lost you. You need to swap your microphone back again, Charles. So here we go, guys. Tech issues with Charles 101 again. So don't worry, we won't be sitting through 20 minutes of it at this time. If Charles can't sort it out, I'll put him on mute and I'll keep talking.
Looks like it doesn't want me to change my microphone.
No.
Maybe I
Luckily, we
might.
covered. Luckily, we covered most of the good stuff just before that one cut out for you.
Yeah, very strange. Sorry about this, guys. My tech does not want to work today.
Do you want to? Oh, if you jump out, will it stop
Yeah.
recording? Or yeah, okay.
Mm, it might not do actually. I think it will continue to record if you're still in there. Try that.
Well, just in case it cuts out, we'll just. I did want to cover one more thing, but
I'll let you
if
take the
we
lead, Jimmy, on this, and yeah, in the meantime, I'll try and sort out my microphone.
can you put yourself on mute just while I'm talking while you're sorting
Yep.
it out, just because there is a heavy static in the background. There we go. Perfect. All right, now that Charles's static has disappeared temporarily, the other thing that I kind of wanted to cover with everyone is brand story. So when I'm talking about brand story, I'm talking about documenting the early stages of your business. If you are in the early stages, if you're not in the early stages, still be documenting what you're doing. There are so many businesses launching and growing exponentially off TikTok, Instagram at the moment. Clearly, just because they're sharing their brand story, their passion behind their business, why they're doing their business. They show, everyone's seen the kind of, ticket sales come out from these machines from their sales the day before. Like people want to support other people. People want to help them in their business, especially if they've got more than ever if they've got good products, and they can relate to the person building it. Don't be trying to sell drop shipped products that are low quality and do a brand story and think that everyone's going to jump behind it. The people with good brand stories are either taking products that already exist on the market and making them better, making them their own version, or they've got a really good story and they've just created a whole different category of product. I don't recommend the whole different category of product just because it can be a grind on the education phase, teaching people about what it actually is. If you can find something that's a good product, but you know how to make it better, like they're winners. And that's where the brand story can really shine. You see a lot of people do this with skincare products, beauty products, supplements. Like there's a lot, like definitely like casual wear. Like there's a lot of those. Like your own apparel brand. Apparel is massive. So everyone wants their own style or their own tweak on, clothing. But one of the best brand stories, we talked about this a little while ago, LSKD. Like I love hearing that backstory. It's amazing. So if I'll post it in the group this week. So for those that are listening for the first time, Charles and I are running a group on Facebook called Ecommerce Marketing Community. So jump in there, and we're trying to provide as much value in there as possible and a place to discuss these calls as well. But I would encourage everyone who is selling products online at the moment to start documenting the behind the scenes stuff, like what's going on, how your business is growing. Let your audience meet your staff. If you've got staff doing a lot of stuff for you, like get them invested in your brand. If they're invested in your brand and they're invested in you, they'll become much, much more invested in your actual product. And I can talk from experience on that on so many products, so many backstories that I like. If I'm weighing up between two products and I know the backstory and the owners of one product compared to the other, I'm going to choose the product where I know the owner and the backstory. So I spoke to someone this week about, how are you starting? And they're like, oh, I'm just in, my living room. It's like just set up here and I'm, making all the products here and shipping them off. I'm like, oh my gosh, like please film this content, because so many entrepreneurial types, like they're the fun, that's the fun part of the business. Like that's the exciting part, you're getting it off the ground. And they look back and they're always thinking, I wish I documented more of that just so I could. But sometimes you're so far in the grind, you're not sleeping, you've got so much going on. Like that phase of business can pass by so quickly, and before you know it, there's not even one photo or anything of how you started off, and you've kind of lost that leverage of your brand story for starting out. So there is great opportunity just to start taking some photos, some videos, documenting the behind the scenes, getting product reviews too. So I'm not sure, Amazon is pushing product reviews so hard at the moment in video form. They are paying out a lot of money for what they call their influencer program, where people just create video reviews of products and send it to Amazon. And then if someone watches that video review before they purchase a product on Amazon, they're making a commission. So if the largest e-commerce platform in the world is pushing that hard for video reviews of their product, you should be doing the same with your customers. You should be incentivizing them in some capacity, to either take videos of them using your product or even photos and a review. Like, do what you can to get feedback and your products in use from your customers, because you can use it across all your marketing. You can actually put the little videos as instead of a product image, you can put a video there of someone using your product, and that really helps improve conversion rate and sales. If they're able to see the product being used, they can see what it looks like in kind of a native format. So yeah, that was the last thing I wanted to cover off in this call today. The brand story, documenting your process through your business and using it as marketing material and helping people become kind of more associated to your business. How's the microphone, Charles? Are you back in action yet or not? Jump back on anyway, even if it is staticky, because we're almost at the hour mark, so we can just wrap up now anyway. Did you have any questions about brand story while I was kind of ranting about it just then?
No, that's great stuff. I mean, I like the idea of video, trying to get some video testimonials, some reviews. I think that's a really, really unique. I've not seen that actually on any e-commerce stores. Obviously, you mentioned Amazon are really pushing that. So
there are a lot at the moment. So a lot of my clients are starting to implement them, and they do well. So they're going to become like second nature. It's like the apparel industry is eventually going to have augmented reality. Once those glasses become more second nature, the augmented reality of putting on glasses and seeing what these clothes look like on actual people in augmented reality is coming. Well, it's already here, but it's I wouldn't say it's mainstream yet, but that's coming too. So video and media of products is going to be so much more important. So if you can jump on the video front now and start getting some product reviews, or not even reviews, just people using your product in everyday life, like that's perfect. So aim to get a couple of videos for your brand as well.
Sounds good, Jimmy.
All right, well, we got there in the end, mate. We're a little bit over today, but hopefully no tech issues next week.
Fingers crossed.
Luckily the audience didn't get much of it, so that's good. But yeah, thanks again for everyone. If you've made it this far, guys, comment in. Actually, if you've made it this far, send either Charles or me a DM on Facebook. Find us in the group, send us a DM, and just let us know that you made it this far, and send us your site link, and I'll give you some direct feedback on it and what you should be focusing on. So yeah, little reward for people that have made it this far. I'll do that for the first 3 people that send me something and say, hey Jimmy, we made it to the end. Can you give us some direct feedback on our website? I will do that. If you've made it this far, despite Charles's tech issues, I commend you. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and if you have any IT tech improvements that can be made to my setup, then feel free to drop me a DM as well.
Yeah, and otherwise you can find us in our Facebook group at E-commerce Marketing Community. Like we said last week, it's at ground zero. I think we've got 34 people in there at the moment, so growing slowly. But yeah, this is just the start. So come on that journey with us, and we'll provide you as much value as we can in that group going forward. But thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Like always, got any questions, go to the Facebook group, and yeah, looking forward to meeting more of you. Good luck in your e-commerce marketing journey, and go drive some more sales.